Good day everyone, this is Frost and this is Frost Moto. First, thank you God for allowing this to happen. And second, Sir Alain, the owner of the Rusi Rapid 150, thank you for allowing me to borrow and review your bike. So before we begin, you know what to do. If you have a motorcycle, push subscribe button, and if you have updates, push the notification bell. And intro. Let's have a sound check. Rusi Rapid stock exhaust.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away.
What we have here is a Rusi Rapid 150 price at 65,000. So before you say anything that is China, it wouldn't last long, engine is eventually gets ruined, negative things, so on and so forth, then you're gonna ask yourself first, are you the target audience of this one or this brand? The target audience of Rusi or this motorcycle are those Filipinos who couldn't afford expensive bikes. So those Filipinos were earning just enough for day-to-day, and they wanted to experience at least the aesthetic is it resembles an Aerox. That's also the selling point of this one. I know that you're thinking that this is China, engine wouldn't last long, so all of those negative things, but you're gonna ask yourself, everything that we own right now are eventually from China, even your phones are from China. It is a matter of how much you take good care of your engine. As long as proper maintenance, proper check on the engine, proper check on each data on your motorcycle, then it will eventually last long. So let me tell you a story. I have a lot of friends who own brand new bikes from very well-known brands. And let me tell you something. They experience issues with their unit. There's no perfect machine, even if it's a Japanese brand. So like I said, as long as you know how to take care of your bike, you know how to change oil, you know, just the basic necessity of your motorcycle, then it will last long. Okay. So alright, so let's go for its engine specs. So it has a 149.6cc single cylinder, air-cooled, 4-stroke, 2 valves, single overhead cam, and it is a CVT drive. So one nice thing about this one is it has a kickstarter. So if you have any problem in the road, you know, battery runs out, so on and so forth, at least you have a secondary option to start your engine. Not especially for the generation or technology that we have right now. For the very updated motorcycle or bikes like the Aerox, doesn't have any kickstarter. So if you runs out of battery, then it's gonna be problematic or problem. So at least for this one, you have an option to do that. So for its bore and stroke, it is 57.4 by 57.8 millimeter. That provides you a max power of 7.8 kW at 7,500 RPM. That provides you a max torque of 10.5 Newton meter at 5,500 RPM, and the compression ratio is 9:5:1. So based on its specs, it is actually not bad. It is pretty much okay for a day-to-day ride. So I know a lot of you will say that it's China bike, ugly, so on and so forth, all of those negative things, but you don't, practically speaking or honestly speaking, most of the things that we have right now are basically from China. So it is a matter of own preference. So I know a lot of people couldn't afford Aerox or any Japanese brand. We could, then we will actually go with those kind of brands. But for our normal Filipino day-to-day workers, so they need also to put their budget first or to make their finances very good in terms of managing. So that's the reason why Rusi up until now is one of the best option to buy from. So based on its engine, it is actually pretty much okay, honestly speaking. And for its front tires, it is 110 by 70 by 13. So this is the mags. This is the design, actually not bad. I don't have any data about the rotor disc millimeter, but at least it is a disc brake. So for the rear, it is drum, but tire size is 130 by 70 by 13. So for its fuel capacity, it is actually 5 liters. It is still carb, it's not FI, but still, even though it is carb, it consumes around 2.7 liters per 100 kilometer. So it depends on your riding style, also on your weight, but it's on based on a statistic from Rusi. So one nice thing about carb is it is easy to maintain, not expensive to buy if compared it with an FI. So if you're going to ask me for that kind of price point, I will do actually consider the carb type, because it is actually pretty much okay to maintain, especially if you're just an average earner as a Filipino. For switches, high beam, turning indicators, actually the quality is pretty much okay for its price. Ignition, so this is the start. Displays analog, fuel capacity, turning indicator, so it's pretty okay to understand for an average person. So nothing very advanced, it is easy to understand. So it has a USB port here, so one nice thing, especially if you're riding long rides, at least you have something to charge on. So this is still bulb, but the owner replaced it with an LED. Telescopic suspension. Quality of plastic is actually okay for its price. We have a rapid design here. So if you own this one, you're not proud about your bike, then you cannot just remove the sticker, replace it with some kind of static that can resembles an Aerox or anything that you want, because this is the selling point also of the Rapid. The selling target or the selling point of this one is it resembles an Aerox. Admit it or not, it resembles an Aerox. So that's the target market. For those people who cannot afford an Aerox, at least you have a choice to choose from. You have Rusi. So that's the main selling point about this one. Alright, so let's check the other details. So quality of seat is actually okay for its price. It is decent. You cannot expect it to be more. Footboard is nice. So here's the problem for me, or the deal breaker. Quality of plastic is not that good. So it's hard and stiff. So if it gets bumped or gets damaged, it will eventually crack. So it's not the same with other quality of plastics or other brands, that it's quite malleable. So there's a play in between. So for me, that's the downside. Second is the quality of plastic or quality of paint is not that good. So if days goes by, it will eventually fade away. And I guess that's it. I couldn't add more, I couldn't tell you less, because what you see is what you get. It's very understandable. There's no hidden technology or hidden features. So I hope that somewhat in this review you learn something, or 1 or 2 points that can help you and give you an idea to which motorcycle that you're going to buy. So for the front, it is disc, and for the rear, it is drum. So those kind of brakes has pros and cons. So for me, if you're going to ask me, I do love the drum brake in the rear because it's not a performance bike. It's good for daily use, and it has no ABS. So at least in the rear, if it's drum, there's a lower chance of having a skid. And for me, that one is very good, because not everyone is a experienced rider in this kind of category, and you need a lot of help, especially in city driving when you have your wife in your OBR, your kids. At least you have some extra leverage in your brake if you do sudden brakes. So let's go. So for its dimensions, I am 5'11" again. Seat height is 760mm. Ground clearance is 147mm. For its curb weight, it is 108 kilograms. So if you're an average Filipino, it fits as your height preference. So this is basically worth it. As for its dimensions, it's okay. So let's have a test drive. Ito. Okay. Baka sara. Bali lang ko. Right. Adios. Alright. So the cable of this one was ruined a couple of days ago based on the owner. So he didn't have enough time to replace the speedometer cable, so that's very sad. So anyway, so again guys, I believe that I have discussed everything that I can tell you about this bike, and I couldn't tell you furthermore because, like I said in the video, that the bike is very understandable. There's no technology, there's no features that needs to be discussed. What you see is what you get. The only thing that I can add to this one, or to this video, or to this vlog, is this: is the bike worth it for its price? And the answer to that question, if you're going to ask me, is yes. The answer to that question is yes, because number one, you should also consider that you are offering or the money that you are giving. So you cannot expect it to be more based on the feelings of the engine. I'm just telling you for the things that I am feeling right now. Have no, because you gotta have a lot of experience in the motorcycle or in the bike or the engine to be able to tell the viewers that you are really if the motorcycle is actually worth it. But for now, based on the things that I am doing right now or the experience that I am feeling with the engine is actually pretty okay. Engine sound is okay. I feel that the compression of the engine is actually pretty much decent also, perfectly put. But the only problem to me right now is the carb. It's not properly tuned, so it's not properly mixed for the air and fuel. I guess that's it, guys. I couldn't tell you furthermore. The only thing that I can tell you again, I'm gonna clarify it. So again, I couldn't tell you furthermore. So if you love this review, push the subscribe button, and if you want updates, push the notification bell. Again, the owner of this one, Sir Alain, thank you for allowing me to borrow and review your Rapid. So enjoy the rest of the video. Namiag silpon tatay just an add-on, the bike is kinda short for me or for my height. As you can see to my knees, almost hitting the key, and the handlebar for me is actually small. So again, like I said, the target audience of this one are those Filipinos who are shorter in height, for an average Filipino. Just gonna add, if I were you, if you're planning to buy a motorcycle in air in Rusi, I do recommend that you at least add your money or add some and go for the Rusi Classic 250. That's the best advice that I can give you, or get and buy the Rusi Sigma 250.
And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away.